You're back with RT International. A former French boxing champion who was wanted for allegedly punching policemen at a yellow vest protest at the weekend has turned himself in. He posted an explanation for his actions on Facebook.
I saw the repression that was there.
To comment on another controversial video which we're watching right now, where a prominent police officer is seen beating protesters on Twitter. There were calls for equal justice, and in fact the officer is now under investigation after an injured woman filed a complaint. The French government is now seeking to crack down on rioters. Prime Minister Edouard Philippe said tougher punishments will be introduced during an interview on Monday. Let's now go live to publisher and writer Émeric Monville to speak on the issue. Good to see you again, Émeric. Just on that last point we spoke about, what kind of updates to the law are you expecting to come in?
Oh, we have already that kind of laws against violent people, but the spirit of this new law is to treat demonstrators like they were all hooligans. In France, you can prevent hooligans from going to a football match, but it will be the same with the demonstrators. But the problem in a democracy, you can't ban people from going from expressing their opinion, for express their anger in a demonstration. It's completely silly. And you must say we are in a context where they try to organize a debate, and suddenly at the same moment the press released that the woman who's in charge of this debate will be paid more than 14,000 € per month. And she will have in front of her people who cannot feed their children, who are compelled at the end of the month to buy dog food to their children. And it's so blatant. It's like at the time of the absolute monarchy, Marie Antoinette said, if the people doesn't have bread, let them eat cake. If they doesn't have bread, let them debate. Let them debate all the time. And with the demonstration, it's very simple with this new law. For instance, they previously arrested people for wearing this kind of weapon of mass destruction. You can see it. I'm like Colin Powell. It's very dangerous. You know, it's swimming glasses. The government doesn't have anything to offer except blood, sweat, and tears, but not their.
To what extent, Émeric, does the French government risk inflaming the situation further then?
Oh, you know, there is a philosopher, Luc Ferry, which was close to the government circles. He told about the police, why not use their guns? Okay, but people are not exactly cattle, and they are human beings that can respond. And you know, in Italy, which is a country very close to France, in the 70s, people were carrying guns in the demonstration, and NATO created a response that was state terrorism with a Gladio. That was the network they shaped, you know, in order to have this response. And you can slip into civil war. It's a very risky situation, because the government doesn't have any answer to give them. Okay.
Just to get your thoughts, Émeric, on this particular aspect, despite the condemnation of the violence, the Yellow Vests, they have won concessions in past weeks. Do you think that would have happened if the protests had remained peaceful?
You have to distinguish between two kinds of pressure. You have this violence on the street. You have burned cars, but that don't have nothing to do with the real movements. The Yellow Vest, the pressure is to block the roundabouts, block oil refineries, to tailing the traffic, and that's to block the economy. And that's what annoys the government, what annoys the big business in France. That's the main point. That's the violence they cannot stand, and they will oppose another kind of violence, state violence, against it.
What are we now? What, 2 months into these protests? They don't look like going away. How long do you think this protest campaign is going to continue? And just as a follow-up to your last answer, are more concessions likely to be given to them?
No, they say blood, sweat, and tears, but your sweat, your blood, and tear gas against you. And if you wear swimming glasses, you're not a good citizen. You will be banned from demonstration. With this kind of situation, it's completely there's no way out, and because the government doesn't understand that it doesn't represent anybody anymore in this country.
Just finally, how serious a threat is this to the leadership of the French president?
Yes, he lets his prime minister taking the rap, because if it doesn't work, he thinks he will remain in power, but it's completely misleading in this position.
All right, Emeric, thank you very much for coming on the show. Always good to have your company, Emeric Monville, publisher and writer, speaking to us from France.
Bye-bye.